Hello, 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 beautiful people. Welcome to Good Morning with me, Misti B. Listen, guys, today I have a guest all the way in Washington, D.C. That's right, I'm going to be interviewing Miss Sheila Eldridge, and she is the lady behind the mic. Have you ever heard of Cafe Mocha? That's right, with Lonnie Love, Prairie View's own alumnus, all right? We are going to be talking with Sheila in just a second to learn all things about the entertainment industry, and she is intentional about celebrating women of color. Stay tuned, all right, guys? I will be right back with our guest right after this break.
Real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Financing, closing costs, mortgage, putting it on the market, considering offers, inspection, negotiations, submitting offers, schools, down payment, title insurance, home warranty, taxes, review net sheets. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy, because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Dr. Doe here again with a Late Health Presents, and I'd like to give you our Wellness Wednesdays tip of the week. Did you know that not only do the treatments for an enlarged prostate, but some of the medications for an enlarged prostate can cause the same symptoms that you're looking to avoid, namely sexual dysfunction. If you'd like to learn more, you can always check out our website, and you can always catch us here on Monday nights at 5 p.m.
I'm Jonathan Cox with the Cox Radio Law Firm. For years, we have represented people who have been hurt or injured all over the country, but Houston is home. We fight for those who have been hurt or injured, however it may happen. So if you've been injured in a car accident, big truck accident, or even while at work, call our injury hotline at 1-800-HURT-NOW or log in to BigCityAccidents.com and let us fight for you.
BigCityAccidents.com. We fight for your right to get back your life.
Hello, welcome back, ladies and gents. Listen, today I have someone virtually. She's actually in Washington, D.C. Her name is Sheila Eldridge, and let me tell you, I want to make sure I get all of this right, okay? She is currently the CEO of Miles Ahead Entertainment and the creator of Salute Her Awards. But before I bring her on, we have a little video about her that I want you guys to check out. Let's take a look.
Sheila Eldridge was born to be an entrepreneur, one who has an uncanny ability to wear many hats. As a graduate of Howard University's prestigious School of Communications in Washington, D.C., she began her broadcast career at WHUR-FM. Upon relocating to Los Angeles, she gained experience at KACE, KGFJ, Black Radio Exclusive, BRE, Casablanca, and Elektra Records. After spending several years in corporate America, and with an initial investment from her mother, Sheila founded Orchid Communications, a full-service public relations firm with clients that read like a who's who in entertainment. Janet Jackson, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Charlie Wilson, En Vogue, and Yolanda Adams, just to name a few. Thanks to an astute business model that combines community service and consumer marketing, in 1984, Sheila conceived and created Summerscope, a national youth program that combines arts, sports, and entertainment that has produced summer camps for over 30,000 inner-city youth around the country. Today, Sheila Eldridge is running Miles Ahead Entertainment with diverse clients Sprite, Coca-Cola, Essence Festival, Hyundai, Toyota, and the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. And Miles Ahead Broadcasting that produces Cafe Mocha, the #1 nationally syndicated radio show for women of color, heard in over 30 markets and on SiriusXM. With a myriad of awards from Essence and Ebony magazines, PRSA, NAB, Black Public Relations Society, and Howard University, nothing is more rewarding than her work with the Mocha Cares Foundation, supporting families and shelters to combat homelessness and domestic violence through mentorship programs. Sheila Eldridge is living her destiny with a belief that, to whom much is given, much is required.
Hello. All right. So, Sheila, welcome to the studio. Well, welcome virtually today. How are you?
Thank you.
Are you
Very
doing
good.
well?
Nice
Good.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Now, can I still call you the woman behind the mic? I saw that in that video.
Yeah, you can do that. I like being behind the scenes.
You're behind the scenes. Listen, you have a very, very extensive career. Let's talk about it. So take me from broadcast radio to actually launching Miles Ahead Entertainment. How many years was that? What did that look like?
Well, we're enjoying now 30 years of being in business.
Wow, congratulations.
And, I went to Howard University, majored in communications,
Mm-hmm.
drove across country to California, and by the time I got to Los Angeles, the job that I thought that I was going to get at the radio station, the gentleman got fired, so of course there went my job.
Wow, okay.
So I always knew that I was an entrepreneur, that I was not a 9-to-5 kind of girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to start my own business. And my mother gave me $500 to start. And that's really how it started.
Wait, so let me make sure I got this right, Sheila. So you drove across country, okay? You get to LA. The person who's hired you is no longer there. Of course, so you never have the job. So you go instantly into starting your own business?
Yes.
You go, girl.
California is a great state to start a business, though. They have a great incubator program for small businesses.
Okay.
And that's really, my mother said to me, she said, look, you're young, you don't have any kids. If there's ever a time to do it, it's now.
Wow.
And that's really what happened. And she says, I'll be your first investor. And she was. And then I had built a lot of relationships for being in radio. And so a lot of people that I did business with and knew in radio, they supported me and gave me business. And that's really how it started. So I don't subscribe to that you can't do business with people that are your friends, because it was my friends who really looked out for me and helped me get started.
Absolutely. You just have to have the right friends. That's what you have to have. That's the thing that people forget.
Yes, that's very true.
That's what you have to get. Okay, so let's talk about this. So 30, how many years? 30 years in business, is that right?
30 years, yes, 30 years.
All right, so I'm a business owner too. So tell me, biggest learning lesson over 30 years, if you could pick out one that you would share with me and the audience, what would that be?
I think the most important is understanding the value of your team and building a great team.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a small business, you need to have people around you that they know you can work together as a team. Everybody has their position. And it's so important that, the people that you work with are really your biggest asset and your biggest value.
Absolutely.
How you motivate them, the culture of your business, that they believe and understand your vision. So really I think the most important is the importance of people. I always say we're in a human relations business. It's all about people you do business with, people who work with you, and how you motivate your team.
Absolutely. One thing I always tell people is like you said, your staff, that's your #1 customer. So if you expect them to treat your clients well, you have to treat them well. Like, you can't treat them poorly and expect them to have good energy, towards your clientele. I love that.
I always say, don't call people your staff.
Oh,
They're
okay.
your partners. They're your team members.
All right. I
You know,
like that. Your team.
and I never say a person works for me. A person works with me,
Yes, I love
because
that.
you got that whole team spirit, especially when you're a small business. That's all you have.
It really is.
So
Because listen, because I can't do this without you, and you cannot do it without me. So you're absolutely right. It's a team effort. I know that you are very intentional about celebrating women of color. How did that come about for you?
Well, so I've had my business for 30 years, Miles Ahead Entertainment. But 10 years ago, we started Miles Ahead Entertainment and Broadcasting. And the broadcasting is my, love for radio that I never lost. It's just I had to make a living. So, I did marketing and PR in the business that I was in. So what I did was I bought 4 radio stations in Augusta, Georgia, from Kathy Hughes, who put me through a year's program, and with the NAB. And that got me kind of back into where my passion and my love was radio. And then when I was sitting in Augusta, Georgia, and I realized that there was really no constructive, positive, inspirational, aspiring programming for women. And that's really how Cafe Mocha came about. I did not want it to be named after a person. I wanted it to be a platform. I wanted it to be something that you would, when you hear Cafe Mocha, you think radio from a woman's perspective. And that's really how it started 10 years ago. And I've been blessed to have 3 great hosts that kind of get my vision and have really been there with me for for this journey.
I love that. So let me ask you, Sheila, how has the audience perceived that? Do they love Cafe Mocha? Do they love celebrating women of color?
Oh, yeah, no question. No question. Because when we started, remember, it was the Basketball Wives. It was all of the salacious kind of TV show.
You see my eyeballs?
Right, exactly. So what we did was we took another perspective and gave another perspective on women of color, because we are focused on women of color, okay? And so it's been well received, but we always say men like to listen like a flower on the wall, because if we make the decisions, so we don't alienate men, but we really focus on topics and music. We call it lifestyle radio, because the topics are lifestyle topics, but we also offer the best in urban AC music as well.
Okay, hold that thought, Sheila. We're going to take a really quick break, but because I have a comment on what you just said. Give me just a second, though. So, guys, stay right there. I am going to be right back with Sheila Eldridge, and as you can see, she has an extensive career. So, stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
Real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Financing, closing costs, mortgage, putting it on the market, considering offers, inspection, negotiations, submitting offers, schools, down payment, title insurance, home warranty, taxes, review net sheets. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy, because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Dr. Doe here again with a Late Health Presents, and I'd like to give you our Wellness Wednesdays tip of the week. Did you know that not only do the treatments for an enlarged prostate, but some of the medications for an enlarged prostate can cause the same symptoms that you're looking to avoid, namely sexual dysfunction. If you'd like to learn more, you can always check out our website, and you can always catch us here on Monday nights at 5 p.m.
I'm Jonathan Cox with the Cox Radio Law Firm. For years, we have represented people who have been hurt or injured all over the country, but Houston is home. We fight for those who have been hurt or injured, however it may happen. So if you've been injured in a car accident, big truck accident, or even while at work, call our injury hotline at 1-800-HURT-NOW or log in to BigCityAccidents.com and let us fight for you.
BigCityAccidents.com. We fight for your right to get back your life.
All right, welcome back, everyone. So, Sheila, I have to tell you this funny story. So, before the break, you were just telling me about how, when you launched this, we had basketball wives, probably Love and Hip Hop, all of their greatness. So, one day, I am at home in Dallas with my dad, and we're sitting there and we're flipping channels, and one of the Real Housewives chains was on. I'm not going to tell you which franchise, but you can imagine. So, we're watching it, and my dad looks at me and he says, this stuff really makes you all look bad as Black women. He literally just sat there and he said that to me. And I cannot lie to you. I was one of those people. I did watch. I watched for entertainment. And it was at that moment, I was like, I need to start feeding myself some of the positive stuff that's going on with women of color. So that's a very sincere thank you from me to you for doing something that shows us in a positive light. I love that. I mean, because from your experience,
there's so much more to us than what you see on TV.
Absolutely.
So that's so important. So that's all we want to do is just show that what you see there is entertainment. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily who we are as women.
Absolutely, nothing at all. Those people get paid to act up, So let's talk about something else. So, because I can go on a tangent with that one. So you have created, and you are the creator of Salute Her Awards, and I know that that's changed over the years. What made you create that? I love that.
Well, that's actually what you see on TV was the outgrowth of us deciding that we were going to flip the switch. Mm-hmm. And we were going to start honoring women in all lifestyles and all genres and all, fields and everything. We were going to honor women for the work that they do with one common denominator, what they give back to the community. Mm. And so that's how we started the Salute Her Awards. I did a retreat with my team, and we said, let's make it real simple. We want to honor women. We will salute women. And that's how it Salute Her. That's how it started, to show another side. And we started in New York at the Audubon Ballroom, which is the Malcolm X and Betty Shabazz ballroom, which is where Malcolm X was killed. We started there with 50 people 10 years ago. And when 2019, we ended up doing 6 markets around the country. We wanted over 200 women around the country. And then for our 10th anniversary, we decided that we were going to do Salute Them, because we wanted to honor men and we wanted to honor organizations that are making a difference. We wanted to celebrate our culture, and not just focus on women, but focus on our whole community. So that's how Salute Them came about. But in March of every year for Women's History Month, we will always do Salute Her.
I love that. So let me ask you, so when you first, you and your team, you guys are at the retreat and you say, hey, we're going to do these Salute Her Awards. How did you guys first go about selecting women that you were going to salute and honor?
Well, what we did was we worked with our radio stations.
Okay.
We asked our radio affiliates to recommend women. And then we came up with of course, the curriculum for the award and, and everything. But yeah, it started really with our affiliates, recommending women that we should look at honoring. That's how it started.
I love that.
And then we knew women as well. But really I wanted it to be more of a collective, broader effort, because that way you can reach more people. Like in Dallas, Texas, you mentioned Dallas, we honored a lady who has yoga in the hood. And she works with kids and women in the neighborhood in Dallas with yoga.
Really?
We've done great for kids, that have special needs, the ADHD and that kind of thing. So I just say that to say it's such a cross section of women that we honor that you wouldn't even think of. She cried when we honored her because she says, nobody ever honors me.
I'm sure. I'm sure, because like you said, about going back to the reality television, those people seem to get more honors than those who are actually doing good in the community. Okay, so that was a good one. Is there anybody else you can think of, something completely unique like Yoga in the Hood, that did something that you guys honored and what they did was completely out the box?
Wow, that's a great question. Woo.
That's okay. I know that was a loaded one, but I'm so interested. I'm so interested.
Well, I mean, you in Houston, one of our honorees, 5 years ago, was Yolanda Adams. She was an honoree, and Yolanda has been there with us from the beginning. She remembered when we started, Cafe Mocha. But someone that's done something different, I gotta think about that one. Okay.
I know. Listen, we have time. So if you come up with it, let me know. I'm gonna tell you one of my passions, and I'm not trying to get an award. I'm just sharing. So one of my big stories, though, seriously, Sheila, is I love. My mom started me very young feeding the homeless. Literally, I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old, I believe, and it wasn't even with an organization. It was with 8 to 10 people from her church. We would get a box of chicken in Dallas, go up under the bridge, that's what we used to call it, and feed maybe 50 people. It wasn't a lot in that little corner. So fast forward all these years later, still love that, still have that same energy. And so one time I was looking to volunteer. It was around Christmas time, and I could not get anyone, right? Everybody's like, oh, we don't need any more volunteers this holiday season. And I was upset, literally. And then it dawned on me, Misti, you call yourself the food truck lady. You love food trucks. Honey, call a food truck and y'all go feed the homeless. We started that, and it's been a hit ever since. And we wanted to go beyond just feeding them. So then the next year we decided to do some toiletries. Most people don't even know that most homeless people need socks. That's the number one thing. Wet wipes, deodorant, stuff like that. So, I'm just gonna put my name in the hat. No, I'm joking. I'm just
And it's funny you would say that, because what we do is to raise money to work with local shelters in the markets where our affiliates are. So we work with, and most of our shelters are women and children, for women and children. So, and we give back, we do programs. It's called the Mocha Cares Foundation. And so we're really, that's so important. Little things that we take for granted, you need in a shelter, especially for women, young women. And we, personal items and that kind of thing, they just don't get enough of. So, it's great to see that you're doing that. And you did.
Oh, thank you. I know, but I was really joking. It's just really something I do from the heart. I don't need an award. But I want to talk to you about celebrating HBCUs. I know that that's something that you are absolutely fond of. And, considering you went to Howard, I expect you to be. But how did that come about? How did you say, you know what, I am going to celebrate these historically Black colleges and universities? When did you have that moment?
Well, when we decided to expand the concept of the salute her to salute them, the tagline is saluting our culture.
Okay.
And so there's so many aspects of our culture. So this year, we honored women in March. In June, we honored Black music, and we were in Nashville, Tennessee at the African American Museum of Music. And then for September, we said we wanted to do HBCUs. A lot of people, right now, HBCUs are the flavor. But for us, it was important that, number one, that there's so many people in the Midwest and young people in the Midwest and everything that don't really know about HBCUs and know what's special about that experience and how that builds character for people that attend HBCUs. So we decided that since we all attended HBCUs, almost my whole team we're HBCU alum. So it just made sense. But the real purpose of the program was to give people just a nice little taste of what that experience is like and encourage alums to make sure that we continue to support our institutions, because we're getting corporate funding now. We've got a lot of celebrities that attend HBCUs, but at the end of the day, we as alum have to support our institutions.
Absolutely.
So that's important. So we're excited. The response has been amazing.
I can imagine. And let me ask you this. You just mentioned that you guys were specifically targeting students in the Midwest area. Have you noticed about California? I always wonder, because, there are no really HBCUs on that side of, the U.S. So how is the interest level there? Would you happen to know?
Yes. One of our honorees, glad you asked. One of our honorees is Dr. Teresa Price, and she has the Black College Expo, and she is based in LA. And she and I worked in radio together years ago. And she started this Black College Expo because there were so many students in young people in LA and in California and Denver and Washington that didn't know about HBCUs. And so she does this one-day expo in LA that now goes to 5 markets around the country.
Okay.
So yes, that is on the West Coast. You need that. But that's what we honored her for, the work that she's done, because she has put over 6,000 students through, with scholarships and through her her expo, her Black College Expo. And that's one woman who did that. She started that and has built that along the way with, of course, corporate support.
Well, I definitely salute her. And Sheila, our time is up, but I salute you too. So you make sure that you throw your own name in the hat. I know that you're behind the scenes and behind the mic, okay? But seriously, thank you for doing all that you do. Thank you for representing us in a positive light. Thank you so much, dear.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me today. Oh, wow. So that was a really, really great interview. I love these phenomenal stories. Guys, I am going to be right back right after this break. Stay tuned.
Real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Financing, closing costs, mortgage, putting it on the market, considering offers, inspection, negotiations, submitting offers, schools, down payment, title insurance, home warranty, taxes, review net sheets. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy, because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Dr. Doe here again with a Late Health Presents, and I'd like to give you our Wellness Wednesdays tip of the week. Did you know that not only do the treatments for an enlarged prostate, but some of the medications for an enlarged prostate can cause the same symptoms that you're looking to avoid, namely sexual dysfunction. If you'd like to learn more, you can always check out our website, and you can always catch us here on Monday nights at 5 p.m.
I'm Jonathan Cox with the Cox Radio Law Firm. For years, we have represented people who have been hurt or injured all over the country, but Houston is home. We fight for those who have been hurt or injured, however it may happen. So if you've been injured in a car accident, big truck accident, or even while at work, call our injury hotline at 1-800-HURT-NOW or log in to BigCityAccidents.com and let us fight for you.
BigCityAccidents.com. We fight for your right to get back your life.
Welcome back, everyone. Isn't Sheila just phenomenal? I truly enjoyed every single thing that she encompasses. So listen, after chatting with Sheila, guys, let's talk about defining yourself and defining your own narrative. So Sheila and I touched on, reality television and how that sometimes makes women of color look. It's not always in a positive light. But listen, she took control of our narrative, actually, not just hers. And she created something positive for women of color. So today's challenge in today's dreaming section, okay, I want you to make sure that not only are you defining your own narrative, but that you're controlling your narrative. You have to get to know you in order to do just that. So get to know you first, okay? Once you get to know you, define who you are, and then you walk in that every single day, all right? As always, I love hearing from you guys. And if you've saluted someone right here in Houston, I don't care what they've done, let us know so that we can salute you. As always, chat with us on Facebook and on Instagram at American Star TV. I'll see you babies next time. Bye-bye.